Speaking of the modern wives of this generation, so I had this thought, right? And I was thinking, our generation of women is literally the product of not one, not two, but three generations of women not knowing how to be wives. I interviewed a woman that was around 85 the other day, and she was telling me how in the 70s, it was really frowned upon not to be a feminist. And she was telling me how in the 70s, people would whisper to her in the grocery stores saying that they're not feminists either, right? So this tells me that this propaganda and social conditioning has been strong since at least the 70s. What I see is the women in their 70s and 80s had more traditional skills. So a lot of them maybe stayed home, a lot of them cooked, but they didn't have the mindset of a wife where they didn't obey and submit to their husband. So what I see is that generation, a lot of them ended up separated but not divorced. There's still enough shame around divorce back then. The next generation didn't give a F. They learned not to submit to the men from the generation before, right? Then what they did is they went and divorced their husbands. Now our generation is even getting married. A lot of our generation, the guys saw the shitty wives of the previous generation. And the truth of the matter is there's always going to be traditionalists in a society. Always. Like there's always going to be outlier traditional women, but it's not the norm. And even the more traditional women that you see that stay home really don't obey their husbands like that. And I think it's tough because where do women learn it from? When the generation before us is divorced, I would say 75% of marriages in the generation before us is really unhappy. And I say this because I just think you can see this by the reputation of marriage.